Welcome to Smoking Eagles Rod Shop. Today we're going to be breaking in the cam on my brand new 461 big block Buick in Carmen Electra 225. Now, I'm pretty excited, guys. I've really been thrashing on this motor. If you're new around here, I bought this thing on Facebook Marketplace and it's never even been run. I don't know anything about it other than all the paperwork that came with it. And they told me it had never been broke in after it got rebuilt. So I bullied all my old Go Fast stuff off of Carmen Electra from last year when I let a rod leave the chat. And yeah, before I even had the motor or transmission or anything in there, I did the right thing and went ahead and registered for Cletus and Cars. He just sent me an email and said, yeah, buddy, you're in now. Make your shit run. So that's what we got to do today. We're going to shove her out into the driveway. I got to pull the spark plugs out, spin her over a couple of times, and throw some oil out of the cylinders that I threw in there just to kind of lubricate the rings on initial startup. Then we'll toss the plugs in there, put a little gas to it, and see if we can get her to light off. We'll run her about 2,000, 2,500 RPMs. I like to float them around in there a little bit and keep an eye on our water temp and all that good stuff. Break that cam in. Hopefully, fingers crossed, I didn't forget to do anything major. Hopefully I got all the bolts, hoses, wires, everything's all nice and tight and right. And it fires right up, purrs like a kitten. If not, we'll just have to address it as we go like we always do. Smoking Eagles Rod Shop style, we make it happen. So I'm glad to bring you guys along. This has been a long time coming. And yeah, sun's going down, so we got to get out there and get on this. I don't want to be doing this thing in the dark. And it's going to start getting colder fast. It was like 37 degrees just a little bit ago. So see if I can push this thing out of here by myself. I don't remember if I left it in neutral. Oh, yeah. Ugh. She's a big girl. You get her moving, you just got to keep her going. Ugh. Come on, baby. Come on. Ah. No, you're going the wrong way. I'm sliding backwards. I feel like Superman pushing the train. Go to the gym. Who needs the gym when you got an Electra 225? Doesn't run. There. Whoo! This is a freaking workout, boys. Good thing I ate my Wheaties today. All right, I'll get you set up over here. Crank it over first with the plugs out. Hopefully it'll start pulling some fuel from the tank. So I've got our timing light here, and I've also got a vacuum gauge set up here because this is not a stock cam, and we're gonna have to set our timing as best we can. I think I ran the old cam at like 8 degrees, 6 to 8 degrees, maybe a little more than that. So that gives us a good reference point. Again, we got to get the cam broke in, so we'll get it fired up, get it around 6 or 8 degrees so that it idles pretty good, and then we'll just bump the idle up. We'll lock the timing in and let that cam break in, and then we'll be able to tune on her a little bit later. I just got to make sure everything is legit to start with. All kinds of crap's probably going to shoot out of these plug holes. I can get you guys up here so you can see it maybe on this side. There's a little more daylight over here. Sun's going down. We're running out of daylight. Chop, chop. Burning sunlight. I've never even tried to crank it over, so I don't, yeah. She cranks a little hard. That's a good battery. That starter may be a little sad. Did anything come out of those cylinders? No? Not really. I thought some oil would have shot out of there. All right, I'll put the plugs in there, and then we'll get on it. You guys will like this. So, out of all the spark plugs, they're all brand new. They were all R44 TSs, which is probably what it should have. One of them was an R45, so I was like, surely I got an R44. So I went over there and dug around, found an R44 brand new in the box. Check it out. This is like an old, like 70s, early 70s R44 TS. And these are the new style. You can see the difference. These actually bring a pretty penny for those, you know, complete, you know, ground up, period correct resto guys. Pay big dollars for these unused 70s plugs. We're just going to toss it in Carmen. And don't complain about that starter. That's the first time I've ever cranked this thing, and she had a little bit of a whine to her. We can work on that later. That's not going to stop us from breaking this cam in. Also, those rings aren't seated. So, you know, she's turning over pretty tight because she's got good compression, and this thing is fresh, fresh. Fresh, fresh. I'm excited, guys. This thing should light off and frickin' run. Okay. Get our plug wires on here. I really like these plug wires, though. These things are freaking sharp. Okay, transmission fluid's in it, coolant's in it, plugs are in it. Hook up our timing light. Need a little bit of gas to go down in that carb. Running out of daylight, guys. Drastic measures. Now, if you don't know what I'm doing here, I'm just filling the front and rear float bowls on the carburetor, so it'll have fuel right away until it gets that pump primed. You can see it coming in there. These bowls hold more than you think. And look at that, it took all of that. Go get some more. Michigan International Speedway. This cup will help us out. This is a lot better. I can bend this baby. Turn her into a spout. Ah. Well, that's full. Then I made a mess. Let's try not to make a mess on this one. Come on. That don't sound good. Yeah, it's not good. That all went right down in the damn carburetor. All right, so that was super frustrating. Supposed to fire it up today. Obviously, I'm out of daylight and the carburetor's not cooperating. I probably deserve it because all I did was take the carburetor off of Carmen. It sat out all summer last summer and then slapped it on there, poured some fuel in it, and the back float is stock open. So it just filled the damn engine with gas. That's not good, so I pulled all the spark plugs, cranked it over a few times, let it spit some fuel out, then took my air hose, blew it down in every single cylinder, got all the gas out of there that I possibly could. I'm gonna leave the plugs out of it overnight and tackle that tomorrow. Take two. Let's try this again, guys. It's a brand new day. The sun's just coming up. It's getting warmed up out here. It's about 34 degrees, 36 degrees. It's supposed to be like 50 something today, so yeah. Let's try this again. I let it sit all night with the plugs out. I cleaned the plugs up real good, hit them with the old wire wheel, spun this thing over, got all the gas out of there, hit it with the air hose down all the cylinders, blew all the gas out of this thing, and yeah, got the plugs slapped back in it. The rear float bowl started working at some point because I looked, and now there's gas in the rear float, so I'm just gonna assume it's fixed. I got Matt out here to help me. He's gonna run the starter button. We're gonna try and get her fired up, get the timing set, get this cam broke in, then we'll go from there. Fingers crossed. This goes better than yesterday. I've got high hopes, but I'm also really cautious. Anyway, let's get this thing going. So I got this towel, Matt, in case you don't know what that's for. If this thing bursts into flames and there's flames shooting up, we can throw it over top of it and then hit her with the old fire extinguisher. Yeah, so that's kind of the game plan. All right, now hit the button and this thing should come alive. Ready? Yeah, if I tell you, just do what I tell you. That switch is the only thing you should have to worry about in the starter button. Okay, ready? Yep. All right, hold up. Yeah, it squirted some fuel, so crank it. All right, hold up, hold up. All right, hit it. Let off, let off. Good news, guys. I got to call Haggerty and put insurance on this thing so we can take her for a rip. Man, guys, I am so excited. That thing runs good. Now, I do have some more parts coming for it. We are not done with this thing. All we did was break the cam in today. I've got jets for the carburetor so we can tweak that. I got some new plugs to toss in it. I've got an aluminum radiator coming so we can upgrade the cooling system a little bit. I got a project I want to do on the rear end to help us do burnouts better. I've got some tire ideas rattling around in my brain hole here that I think is going to help us out in the burnout pit. So there's a lot of stuff coming. But for today, I am going to call this a win. I am super stoked. It's running really good. And yeah, let me know in the comments below what you guys think about the new engine. I've got to get this thing registered for Cletus and Cars 2025 because Cletus accepted us. He accepted Carmen for the 3rd year in a row, but I wasn't going to pay for the ticket till I had it running, and it's clearly running. So I got to go do that. I'll get some insurance on this thing so we can do some testing tunes. We can drive her up and down the street legally, and that'll be a good time. So you don't want to miss any of those videos. Make sure to check them out when they come out. Like, share, subscribe, tell all your friends. Don't forget, we've got merch available if you're interested in that. And we also have a membership program, and my members get access to all my videos early. I put them up so that they're members only, and I like the video dump, 4 or 5 videos at a time. Right now, guys that are in the membership program are like 5 videos ahead of you. So if you're interested in that thing, no pressure, you can go check that out. I much appreciate it. I'm gonna post some other things around my melon here. Things I'm doing around the shop. Go check that stuff out. And as always, guys, until next time, keep on wrenching. Peace. Yes!